friends, share to any platform that you have, whether on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Share with your friends. As I'm talking, I'm still waiting for more people to join in so that they don't miss out on the introduction. But yes, we are live on both Facebook and on YouTube. So this is the strategy managers. For those who are not, who do not know who we are, so with the strategy managers, we connect you watching or people living abroad to profitable property investment. And I'll just go through a few slides, and as more people join in, I'll break through and then I'll still show just a few properties that we have in our portfolio. I'm not showing all just for time's sake. I'll make sure that we finish right on time today. So as the slides are going through, these are some of the services that we provide. That's property sales end to end, lettings, short to long term, property insurance. Yes, we do advise on that. We do have partners as well. Architectural design and build, interior design, funding and finance advice as well. Of course, as we go through, you see more from what the invited guests have for us, because we've partnered with all of them. So these are a few properties that I'll be going through that you can see what we have in our portfolio. I'm not going to give so much detail about them, but you can by all means contact us. I'll leave our contact details in the chat as well, so that anybody who needs to contact us can do so. So these are just few in East Legon, Arlington. We have a villa that is in Ashali-Boucher, Nova, Forte, Havens Gardens, Cherry Green, Achimota. So we cover all the key locations in Accra and any prime location that you want in Ghana, really. Just contact the strategy managers. Yes, we have Chado. And yes, so I think with this presentation, I'll come back to it, but I will just take it off now. So please do send in any comments. If you have any questions, feel free to send it through. I'll do my best to ensure that I answer all the questions. But even if I don't, please send a message and I will make sure that if you go on our social media handles, I will send everything through. So yes, again, my name is Essie. I think we'll make a start now. It's 5:08. I'll begin to introduce our guests, and I'll start with the ladies first. So we have today Wendy. So I think I'll bring Wendy in. Hi, Wendy. Wendy, can you hear me?
Hi, see, I can hear you loud and clear.
That's good. Okay, so this is Wendy Sapon, as you can see. So Wendy has deep knowledge in mortgage underwriting, and she is here to throw light on the various options and processes that one needs to know before deciding to take a mortgage in Ghana. She is the head of Asset Finance Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited, a subsidiary of the Standard Bank Group, South Africa. So Wendy, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, AC. Hello, everybody.
Yes. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please, to do with finance, please send it our way. So the next person that I have here is our very own Irabna. She wants us to call her Rabbi. So Rabbi is a real estate consultant with experience in both residential and investment properties. She's also the sales manager for Dev Traco Plus. And one thing you need to know about Rabbi is that she's also an award-winning Ghanaian actress who has also an award-winning reality TV show in Ghana called the Rabbi Starlet. You can look her up. And yes, I've come to know Rabbi as a very professional lady. And yes, I'm very happy to be working with her. I mean, everybody that is on here today is a professional. So, Rabi, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, AC. Hi, everybody. I'm honored to be here.
Okay, so I think I'll bring on our next guest. That's a gentleman. Hi, KK. Can you hear us?
I believe I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, loud and clear. So
Okay,
this is
great.
Kobina Bannon, also an entrepreneur. He's an architect. He's a developer. He wears many hats. And I believe I'll give time. I'll give time for everybody to say just 1 minute, something interesting that we want to know about them. Then we can start with the questions. So panelists, you are all welcome on our very first Ghana Investing Property event.
Thank you.
Thank
A
you
pleasure
all.
to be on your platform, Izzy.
Okay, so I know people have been joining in. Our audience, you're all welcome as well. Thank you for taking the time to join in as well. Please do remember you can send in your comments. If you're watching us from YouTube or Facebook, you can let us know. I'll pick the questions as we go through, and then we take it from there. If you have a specific question for any of the panelists, you can just tag it and say, okay, I want Wendy, Rabi, or Kobina to respond to that particular question. Thank you all. Okay, so for starters, where do we start from now? There's a wealth of experiences that I have here, but I think I'll start with everybody. Why should one invest in property in Ghana? I think that's the biggest question on everybody. And then, yes, so I think I will start with Rabi.
Okay, AC. So, first off, investing in real estate anywhere in the world is a good idea. However, investing in Ghana is one of the best ideas ever. Because if you invest in real estate, you are investing into something that you wish to actually have return on investment on, whether you are going to live in it or you're going to rent it out. Because when you live in it, it should have value. You should enjoy the space you are living at. You should wake up in the morning feeling great in order to go out there and achieve whatever you want to achieve. And considering how peaceful Ghana is, our socio-economic environment is quite stable. I know people are going to agree to that disagree with me because they will be saying, oh, Ghana, your city is not so stable, etc. But sometimes people do not usually compare it to something else. They are usually going to just keep one value and then that's it. If you compare how our economy is to a lot of countries, you realize that we are very stable. We've been stable over the years in terms of our governance. It's quite peaceful. So you can actually live here, breathe here, work here, and achieve so much from here. And in terms of investment, when you buy real estate in Ghana and you want to rent it out, our return on investment and our capital appreciation is quite high in comparison to other parts of the world. So, I mean, buying real estate in Ghana is a perfect idea. People will tell me, oh, there's so many things springing up. Oh, yes. However, I don't disagree with the fact that we would hit a bubble, but it is far from today. So you can tell
Okay.
me that we are not yet there, get your returns, and even if you hit the bubble, you know it's not going to depreciate. You know that definitely is going to stabilize and appreciate, maybe not as much as it is doing now. Return on investment in Ghana is an average of about 12%, and it can go as high as 18%. And I'm talking about just about 65% occupancy. So if you ask
Wow.
me to invest in Ghana, my question would be why not?
Thank you, Rabbi. That was yes, a lot to take in. I believe our audience will find it interesting, or probably they have been, and I believe they will be able to make a decision from that. I'm not sure. I'll bring the rest of the panelists on. If any, whether KK or Wendy has anything to add on to what Rabbi has said.
I think I definitely do agree with Rabi. I mean, Rabi has highlighted all the most important things that anyone that is, especially if you don't even live in Ghana, what you're trying to do. And if you even live in Ghana, you even know that most of the things that Rabi said is true. I come from a background of having lived in America for so many years. And I was so, as part of the whole diasporian and community, we are always hesitant to take that leap of faith because we all travel to go get our greener. Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, we can.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry. Yeah, we all travel to fetch what we call the greener pastures and all that. And then surprisingly, 20 from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011 hits, and everybody's like scrambling. Oh my God, what is happening to your investments? A complete economic crash. If you had stocks, it was nothing to write home about. It was then that I took that opportunity to come to Ghana, and what agencies, if you will, like the strategy do is that when you are looking for that possibility and you are trying to take a leap of faith to that community that you want to be part of, you need people to assist you in that. And for me, I just love Ghana. There's a lot of things that Rabi said. I 100% agree. I love the nightlife. I love um, enjoying things, that I would have had it in America, but because of just the heritage, the culture, everything about it, I think the community is so welcoming, and you just feel just, there's almost sometimes when you're in Ghana, you just feel like there's such a burden off your shoulder. And for me, that is what I'm so excited about when you say you want to invest, not just invest, but live. It's a lifestyle in Ghana that you want to also be part of.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Kabina. I'm not sure whether Wendy also has something to add to this one. I know you with the finance background, or maybe we can just, if they've said everything, we can go straight into it as well. But yes, Wendy, from your finance.
Absolutely. When you get to speak last, you get to speak less because my two other speakers have said a lot. So basically, the property market, the real estate market in Ghana is really doing well. The good thing about it is it's none different from where you are, irrespective of the country you are in. The good thing is that whether you want to invest or buy directly or you want to source financing, it is the same as you go through ordinarily, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in America, wherever you find yourself. The good thing is that there are people to hold your hand and walk you through that process. All you need to do is to get ready and ask the right questions and be with the right people. And I believe today we are going to delve deep into how to acquire it. We are here to support anyone who is willing to invest in Ghana. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Okay, so I believe we've covered why should one invest in property in Ghana. I know Keke has given a little bit. I was going to ask him to tell us a bit about his story transitioning from the US to Ghana and to establish himself as a developer, but I know he's touched a bit on all that. So I'm not going to go into that. I think I'll just go straight into to Rabi. So Rabi, can you just tell us what are the different types of build, like the different options that we have in Ghana to anybody that is interested to invest in Ghana?
Okay, so in terms of the property market in Ghana, I would start with lands. I mean, you can have lands and you can do a lot of things on the land. But in terms of general real estate, you have the residential and you have the investment. The residential are usually apartments or townhouses or even homes like bungalows that you can buy and live in. But in terms of investment, even with the homes that you buy, you can rent it out. Now, Airbnb is becoming so popular, anybody can sit in the comfort of their homes and run their own business. However, we have actual apartments that are used only for investment purposes, and these are hotel apartments such as the Pelican. You can also have commercial spaces that you can rent out for businesses. So in terms of the real estate options in Ghana, there's a wide variety of options. So I always say there's something for everybody, no matter where you are in
Yeah.
life, to actually put your hand in the large jar of real estate and enjoy from it.
Thank you, Rabi.
Welcome.
So you've heard it all. So if you are if you want to invest in Ghana, if you want an apartment hotels, that's the new one, which is also selling really fast. And also if you are looking for townhouses or apartments, name it. Anything that you are looking for, that is why this program has been put together for you to join in as well. And then also don't forget to contact the strategy managers if you are interested in any of these types of build. We are here to help you. So I know we have the finance lady here, that's Wendy. And I know there's so many questions that people do ask me, can I access mortgage in Ghana? So who can access it? Who is qualified for it? Because I know if someone does not have the money to fund it, to fund their property or to invest, how can Stanbic Bank, you as the asset manager, how can one access mortgage in Ghana?
Okay. Thank you very much, AC. So in terms of financing and who qualifies for, I will say any gainfully employed individual can access financing in Ghana, particularly from Stanbic Bank. So the question now is, how much do I qualify for as an individual? That is where we put our pen and paper down to tell you per your income and how much goes out. This is how much we can avail you as a bank. So any gainfully employed individual, whether you are a professional, whichever industry, whichever sector you're in, we are able to support you. Most people will ask, do I need to earn a salary, or I'm a self-employed individual? Whether you're salaried earner or you own your own business, once there's something coming in as income, we are able to base on that to avail you some amounts that you can use to buy or acquire the property you're looking for. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. So does one need to be in Ghana to go through the whole process? If I don't live in Ghana, if I'm not Ghanaian?
Okay, thank you. So you don't necessarily have to be physically present in the country, in Ghana. We have what we call the diaspora mortgage that affords individuals living outside the shores of Ghana to access financing or mortgage to buy property, either for residential or investment purposes. The difference between individuals living in Ghana and those living outside, that's the diaspora, it's the fact that we will source for the same documents, but those living outside need to notarize their documents to us. So you don't need to be physically present. All you need to do is, once you get the required documents and they are ready, you get a notary public to notarize it and you email it down to us. At some point in time, you may need to come back. It is not necessarily that you need to be present in the country before you can access the facility. Once we have the various approvals, we can email it to you. You will print, sign, scan it back to us, and later post the hard copy documents to us. But once you're there, you can choose to be there. If you found a property and you want us to look for a property for you, we can assist in whichever way. You don't necessarily have to be here, as I've said earlier on. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've heard it. You don't necessarily have to be in Ghana to start the whole process and to even own a property in Ghana. So I know I'll still come back when it comes to the finance bit. There are so many questions, so I'll come back to it. But I'll quickly ask KK a quick question in terms of as a developer, what are the assurances you give to clients in terms of good structure? What are the things that one should look at for out in developers in terms of the build? How much do you consider the end user, the customer, in terms of the build itself? So I think I'll bring KK back on.
All right. Thank you so much, Essie. And by the way, as Madam Wendy was talking, I'm even taking notes. I'm like, when I had that challenge, I didn't know I had to fly all the way to Ghana. Had I known then, I would have just waited. But then, so I think this platform is really informative. And, policies are still changing. So by updating us what is current trends, I think that is great. So getting back to your question, what do we look out for when it comes to our clients and in terms of the build? I think definitely location, 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 right? Number one, you need to understand that in order to, when you're thinking about your investment, depending on earlier, Rabi had mentioned that, there's a large pool that you can pick from, right? So first, where do I want to live? Where do I want to invest? Where are all the people going, if you will, right? So that's a location. And depending on the location, it also has a price point. Each location has a certain type of price point. Safety, in terms of overall, when I talk about safety, yes, Ghana is completely safe, but there are certain areas that you're much closer to certain amenities that are easily accessible, closeness to the airport, closeness to fireplace and all that. It's just like in the States. You tend to look at all these things. Secondly, you look at what you call it, the type of build up. Is it a multi-story? Is it single units? Is it, so we try as much as possible to let our clients know that, hey, let's have a discussion, because at the end of the day, it's your money. We need to give you value for your money, right? So we bring that in. I love the amazing developers in Ghana now. Amazing, amazing, amazing developer. Good work, good quality of material, things that will last long, durability. And, you can ask the questions. Be very vigilant in asking, what kind of materials do you put in? What is my timeline? When is it going to be built? What kind of construction type? Any developers are happy to answer these questions, but you need to be ready to ask the right questions to support that. And with the help of certain agencies, they're able to direct you on the type of floor plan. What is the size of room do I need? Do you really need to have a 300 square meter space if you're just using it for a space that it's just an Airbnb? Maybe not, right? So there are certain things that, or maybe yes. So there are a lot of things that, given the time, I think we could probably delve more into. But in general, it is important that you come in with your questions to meet these buildability in terms of the structure and ambience. Yes.
No, thank you, KK. So you've heard it all. Ask questions. Ask no question is stupid, they always say. Just ensure that if you are ready to buy in Ghana, and of course, if you contact the strategy managers, don't be scared to ask any form of question at all, in terms of who the developer is, what type of materials they use. All those informations are available to you. I'll go to Rabi. Rabi, I mean, the other question that we get a lot is, yes, I know the finance team is there. I know Wendy has gone on about it. But in terms of the developer or the developers themselves, being a sales manager at DevTracker Plus, what options does the developers provide for clients in terms of
Great.
what is available?
Great. So in terms of, we accept two forms of payment. The client can either self-finance or go to Wendy for a mortgage. However, if you're self-financing, it depends on the level of the build. So I mean, I agree with Kobna. It's all about location, location, location. And we believe that most people get great return on investment by choosing the right location. And most of the right locations are in prime areas to get great return on investment. However, as developers, we also need to keep building. So when you come to us, if you're buying an off-plan property, we can give you as much as 30 months to self-finance. However, if the property is already done, we would give you a maximum of 6 months. We sometimes give 6 months, we give 1 year, we give 24 months, we give 30 months, we give 36 months, depending on the level of the build. However, with banks, they can give you as much as 15 years. So depending on what you can actually put into your pocket, you can reach out into your pocket and provide. We can also help guide you through the process. And with Strategy Masters, I mean, you've got the right support, you've got the right advice. Once you hit any of us up, I am sure we can help you develop a payment plan or strategy that would ease up your purchase.
Thank you, Rabbi. So you've heard that the developers actually do provide options. So if you want to go the finance, that's the bank way, that is, you can do that. But if you also have your money and you want it to be structured for you, that is something that you can also ask prior to you purchasing. So there are options to make it easy for you to purchase in Ghana. Yes, so thank you. I mean, the other question too that I tend to get a lot is, and that's for Wendy. What if I take the mortgage and I'm unable to make a payment? And I'll come to Rabbi as well in terms of the developer, you working with people that have purchased through mortgage, and then what are the other options? But Wendy, what does the bank do if, let's say, AC has purchased the property and I realize I'm not able to continue the payment? What is the process?
Okay. Thank you, AC. So in Avenue the facility, you go through a credit process. And one of the questions we ask once we're giving you the mortgage is it for residential or for investment? Ideally, we evaluate you against your income, whether you're salaried or self-employed, as I said earlier on. So there is an expectation that at the end of the agreed period, and mind you, our repayment period is not only monthly, we tie it to how your income is. So if your income is monthly, your repayment is going to be monthly. If it's quarterly, if it's semi-annually or annually, we do same for you. So there's an expectation that, for instance, if you're a monthly income earner, there is an expectation that on a monthly basis, some monies come to pay, and those monies are coming from your income. So for whatever reason, you feel that for a particular month or for a particular period, you'll not be able to make payment, you don't have to put your phone off. You don't have to reject calls from your relationship person. You don't have to dodge and sit down with us. One option we normally give is to give a payment holiday, or sometimes we do a restructure. So for instance, something has happened to your job where your regular income comes from, and you'll not be able to pay us within a period of 3 months. We are able to restructure your facility for you. And I remember very well when COVID hit us. COVID hit everybody. It's not just Ghana. When COVID hit us, and we realized that most people had lost their jobs, most people incomes had declined, most people were even getting a percentage of your original income. What we did was that we restructured most facilities for most of our clients who came to us with various requests to give them payment holidays, to give them 6 months moratorium, amongst others. We sat down to understand their circumstance, and we actually supported them on that. This we treat on a case-by-case basis. So if any individual feels that their repayment is going to be impacted for whatever reason, it is only prudent that you put a call through to your relationship person and we have a conversation on how to support you. In cases where you feel you wouldn't be able to make payments and you want the bank to support you, we again sit down together with the strategy managers, for instance, and find possible ways. If you want us to put your property back in the market, either ways we are able to support you. The comfort is that the fact that you're missing the first repayment, we don't come in and say we're taking back the property, we are going to foreclose and sell off the property. There are various stages that you go through that we all feel will be beneficial to the individual who's taking the mortgage. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy, for that assurance. as well, because I know a lot of people think, okay, what if my circumstance change? So you've heard it. Always work hand in hand with the bank. Don't avoid the calls if you are caught up in such a situation. But I believe not many people do get into such situations. But I'm coming back to Rabbi on very similar to the question. I know, okay, someone has a mortgage and this is what is happening. So what if the person has not taken a mortgage and is with a developer and they realize that, okay, I cannot make the payment as I thought I could? What steps? I mean, have you had such experience before? And what steps do you take to help the investor not lose their investment 100%?
I would echo back what Wendy said in my own words: work with the developer. Please don't put off your phone. It's sometimes a scary situation where you are not able to pay and you have calls from your developer, but putting off your phone or running away from it does not mean you're free of the debt. First of all, we would try to offer you options. For instance, if you are buying a property that's ready and you need a 6 months time or period to pay and your circumstances change, we can alternatively offer you another property that would give you a longer payment plan, such as a 3-year payment plan. Also, if you're buying maybe a penthouse of about 600 square meters and you cannot afford that now, we can do a downgrade to a unit that is about 100 square meters, depending on what you want to actually use it for. Like Kobna said, if you're doing an Airbnb, you don't need a 300 square meter unit. So probably you just like big spaces and you decided to buy 300 square meters. However, your circumstance changed, but you're still using it for Airbnb. We can give you something which is about 70 square meters, which would also serve the same purpose and get you your money back. Now, if we go through the self finance and we realize there's no way you can afford it on your own, we would definitely have to go to the bank, listen to their terms and conditions, which is usually quite friendly. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't want to take mortgage in Ghana. And I find it so funny because sometimes they don't take their time to actually look at the terms and conditions. Some people get higher interest rates per year, and it's usually based on their risk. But if your credit is so good, I have seen people get single digits because of how their risk is so low. So we'll go to the bank. We always encourage you to go to the bank, at least listen to their offer, and if all efforts prove futile, then we definitely need to put the unit back on market. However, it doesn't happen very often. It's only on rare occasions because we'll go through the entire channel to try and find a solution for you.
Wow, I like the sound of people actually getting a single digit in terms of the interest rate, because that's the biggest question anybody wanting to take mortgage in Ghana do ask. The rates are high. I know, Wendy, you are here and you are smiling. The rates that the banks give are very high. So to hear that, don't be scared to take mortgage in Ghana if that is the route you want to take. Just as Rabbi said, it is your risk that is used, I believe. I know Wendy is nodding the head, but I'll still come back to you when it comes to mortgage and finance. There's so many questions that I have, but I want to make sure that I answer other questions, because it's not everybody that also takes a mortgage or finance from the bank. But okay, coming back to KK, I know we've mentioned that, okay, what if the client defaults and they are not able to continue their payment? But sometimes the developers do delay their development. They promise, especially with the off plan, and that's to UKK. How, what are some of the, I know that the reasons can be genuine, but what are some of the causes? Because it's not everybody. I've paid money to the developer. I'm expecting the bill to be ready in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and it's not ready. What are some of the causes that what are some of the causes, and what are some of the things that we should look out for, a buyer should look out for genuinely?
Wow. You see, this question here, if all other developers are listening to this, they'll tell you, hey, be quiet. What are you talking about? You know, when we are being put, so normally it's best that when the money is coming from the bank, please continue to deal with that and all that. But you know what? All things being equal, I think that remember that we, as a developer, you may also, depending on the project structure and all that, there are both foreseen and unforeseen circumstances that may affect the development. What definitely I would say is that, again, before you just get up and say, I just want to get a property, you need to investigate, you need to have researched some of the good and ongoing, should I say, successful developers, right? It's your first stab at. I mean, you know that, oh, a friend of a friend bought something, it went through, they have not defaulted, they are still building, they have other projects that are still ongoing. When you go in, and quite frankly, for me, first impression really counts. You can tell already how Wendy and Rabbi and Madame Essie are asking these things. Definitely, they want to be within the public. They're not trying to hide within a corner when you come in and trying to, they're very evident and they're very present and they're giving real-time circumstances. So I think there are certain things. Now, obviously, initially Rabbi was talking about yes, there are certain things about economy going up high. When interest rate goes up high and all that, it affects the developer as well, right? But there are certain developers that are extremely liquid, and it's also they have reputation, and therefore because of their reputation, they make sure that the customer is first and it's able to actually achieve that. And there are some that they have good track record. Okay, so good track record is really, really important. I think to mention a few, that's what it is. But I cannot necessarily give a concise things about, oh, things do happen in construction. Yes, things do happen. But once you've received the money, it is. And if you say that you're going to deliver, you have to deliver at all costs. And for that, I think it's a reputation that very successful developers keep by. And, ask for word of mouth of recommendation. You would know. And I think that I can only speak for that. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, KK. So you've heard it. And of course, I'll always bring you back to it. And this is one thing that the strategy managers, we do on your behalf. We make sure that we do the legwork for you. We get the developers with a good reputation. They've been tried, they've been tested. So you know that you are not going to be left in the middle with your investment. So, okay. So I'm going back to, so thank you for that, KK. I think I'll go back to Rabbi. And I think, and the other question that I had is, in terms of from your own experience, what are the best, I know you mentioned it briefly, what are the best areas? Because I know a lot of people buying in Ghana, not everybody want to go into residential property or for themselves. Someone may have their residence, but they also want investment. What are the key areas, or does it make any difference in terms of location when you want to buy solely for investment? What advice, or even if you can mention a few areas, I mean, I don't want to go into specifics of the development, but yes, there's key areas as well.
In terms of investment, location is paramount. Like, you can't even second guess yourself when you are thinking about the right location. That's the first, the second, the third, the 20th, and the 100th thing you need to think about. And some of the prime areas we have that are doing very well with regards to the return on investment for properties include Cantonment, Roman Ridge, Jowulu, Airport Residential Area, Laboni, and the likes. These areas give you good rentals. I mean, I had a client who had a mansion, about a 10-bedroom outskirts of town, and he was renting at $1,000 a month. So the first time I showed him an apartment, the 2-bedroom apartment, he was like, Rabbi, this is so small, because it's about 100 square meters as compared to his mansion, which is several square feet in terms of size. I told him, you just buy one. And he was making triple the amount he was making in comparison to the mansion, and he was spending almost everything he got at the mansion on maintenance. So when you get the right location, please don't think twice about it.
Thank you, Abby. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know most of the time our mindset is that I still want that Ghanaian living of, I want a huge house, huge apartment. Not many people really go for the apartments, but especially when they're going for investment. But I'm glad that you've mentioned that even that client had a mansion and they were making more with the apartment than with the mansion. So thank you for that. Okay, so I think I'll come back to Wendy in terms of the finance, because I do get those questions a lot. So I'm bringing you back on, Wendy. I think Wendy is loading. We're having a little bit of technical issue. Okay, yeah, she's here. So Wendy, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, whilst I'm waiting for Wendy to come back on, Rabbi, I have one more question for you. The other thing too is in terms of I know that, just explain the differences between the, townhouses, apartments, and then the bungalows, because sometimes people just confuse the whole, the different types of build.
Okay, so in plain language, I would say apartments are more like flats, and when you find them in prime areas, they are a gold mine. Because most of the time, when people buy in Ghana for investment, like you said, they have the typical Ghanaian mindset. I want a big house, then Kwabena will tell Kwesi that go and weed on Sunday, and they feel like that is life. No, people who have lived in the diaspora, we have expats, they are actually the ones going to rent from you, and they are used to the flat size, the apartment side of things. In terms of townhouses, these can be detached or semi-detached homes, structures that are located usually in town. Then with the bungalows, the typical Ghanaian home that you may like when you want Kwesi to be weeding on Sundays, then you can call them the bungalows. Their build structure is a bit different. So this is the simple explanation I can give you that would sort of make sense to the layman who is trying to get into property.
Thank you, Rabbi. Okay. Just quickly, KK, I know with you, you do have, as much as you are a developer, you also have that experience of your properties. You do rent them out in terms of Airbnb and different things. Someone who is thinking of doing same in terms of buying and thinking of that investment returns, how is that, without going too much into detail, how can you encourage one to invest in Ghana just for the sole purpose of that Airbnb and the rental market in Ghana? Just briefly.
Thank you so much, Essie. So Rabbi initially actually answered that question when, in her opening statement, she said we have about currently people are making close to 11% at minimum, so 10 to 11% at minimum, all the way to about 18% on that, right? So definitely looking into property rental for Airbnb is a good thing. Even if you had stocks, currently look at what is happening in the stocks in the United States. Look at, even if you have set savings, look at the records you're having right now. We're not experiencing that because there's a huge influx of the diaspora. There's huge influx for properties, whether it's detached, semi-detached, apartment, but for the right location though. Although, Essie, really quickly, I want to add that, guys, it's not just the location is not just within Accra. We have, you should look into Takoradi, look into Cape Coast, look into Kumasi. These are all high-end areas that are booming. And, there are very successful real estate developments, especially for return on your investment, that are coming up. Of course, we know that Accra right now is the king, right? But with that influx, we believe that it's going to spread all the way to those areas. So I would say that if you want to get into that, location, and then being a really good host. And the last thing I want to add is the management, the management, property management agencies, right? So you need to have a very good and solid property management group. And I would know that, we can perhaps delve into details once you have specific questions about that.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that in terms of the property management side of things. That's after you've purchased the property, the aftercare. That is also very key if you want your high returns. Okay. Wendy, are you good?
Yes, I'm good, AC. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay. So quickly, I know, Wendy, someone asked, so what if I want to purchase a property with maybe my mom, or if I want to purchase it with my husband? Can I take a mortgage? Can two people take one mortgage to buy a property?
Okay. So thank you, AC. Joint mortgages are allowed. So in the past, we were allowing for joint mortgages between any two individuals. Currently, what we do is that we only allow for a husband and a wife. So if a husband and a wife want to put their income together towards a mortgage, it is allowed. All that we do is the same documentation that we are sourcing from one will be the same we'll source from the other. Or in the case where we choose one to be the primary applicant, we will source all the required documents. Ordinarily, we would have sourced from an individual, from that person. Then we pick up supporting documents, particularly in the case where incomes are going to be combined. Then we will need some particular documents from the other. We always nominate who is going to be the primary person and the supporting spouse. Yes, so it is allowed, but currently only for spouses. Thank you.
Okay. So the follow-on question will be: so what if, God forbid, they divorce? How does the payment, and one decide not to pay, or I'm not sure whether you've had such cases before, but what if a situation like that comes in and one person cannot make the payment or their circumstance change? How does the bank support that?
So, God forbid if they divorce, which we don't anticipate, we have not recorded any, but the conclusions from the court as a result of the divorce will be very pertinent in how we will make a decision. And obviously, once the divorce is also presented in court, there will also be a presentation of that joint mortgage. So that decisioning is mainly made by the court, and we follow suit from that. Yeah.
Thank you. I have an interesting question here for you, Wendy, regarding mortgage. Can one take 100% mortgage to pay off their property?
Okay. So currently, we don't offer 100% in terms of loan to value for a mortgage. The maximum we give out is 80%. So we are giving out 80% maximum towards the purchase of any facility. So the client is requested to make a minimum 20% equity towards the property they're buying. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Just one more question on the mortgages, which I get a lot. What is the difference between taking a mortgage in the UK or abroad, anywhere, whether US, wherever, and in Ghana? Is there a difference in the process?
In terms of difference, I can boldly say no. It's the same. You need to identify the property you're getting. We need to make sure that whoever you're getting the property has ownership to the property they're selling to you. It's a bit of the documentation that differs because one, you live outside, you live in the diaspora, your business, you live and work in the diaspora, your business is in the diaspora. And for most of these individuals, they don't have any income in Ghana. So perhaps the comfort we request for is for your employer to give us some level of comfort, to give us the assurance that once we're granting you the mortgage, repayment won't be a problem. So we going within the extra effort to source for your employment details. We asking how payments will be done. I mean, in a nutshell, we need to be comfortable that once you're taking the mortgage, at the end of the agreed period, we will be receiving our repayment. So in terms of process, in terms of documentation, it's not much different from what you have in the UK or anywhere else outside Ghana. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know I have a question from Facebook, Theodora, that is asking, I'm sure it's very much in line with what you just said, but I'm not sure whether that has answered what Theodora is asking. She's saying that for those living outside Ghana, and that's for you, Wendy, for those living outside Ghana, how are you assessing their risk? Do you use their credit score? Just trying to understand how the interest rate is determined.
Absolutely, Theodora. So, in terms of how we evaluate our client, purely we're asking for the standard documentation, i.e., it starts from you completing an application form, giving us your buyer data, and you sourcing an invoice from whoever you're buying it from, telling us what exactly you're buying, where it's located. I mean, the details of the property. But in terms of assessing the risk, we do a lot of things. Yes, we are actually asking for your credit score. So most often we ask the clients themselves to pull that for us. We have various ways of vetting that document or the individual document that has been forwarded to us. So we are looking at one, your monthly income, or I don't know whether you're earning monthly or quarterly, whichever. We are assessing your income, but we will source for your credit score to actually tell us, one, your credit worthiness, and again your financial commitments elsewhere as well. So yes, the answer is yes. We will source for other documents, but your credit report is something that the bank will ask for as part of the requirement for the facility. Yeah.
Thank you, Theodora. I hope that answers your question. So, Rabbi, for those who are just joining in, this is the Ghana Investment Property Seminar that we are having. We do have three panelists here. We have Wendy, that's the asset manager for Stanbic Bank. She's shedding so much light on taking mortgage and the different finance options. We have Rabbi here, that is the real estate consultant, that is also giving us a lot of information on the different areas, the application and the processes. And I'm coming back to Rabbi with a question soon. And then we have Kobina Banning as well. That is also the developer, making us understand why some developments do delay, some of the genuine reasons, and some what to look out for in terms of developers. So Rabbi, just coming back to you, I know that Wendy has talked a lot about the process in terms of the mortgage process, but for someone that wants to purchase a property in Ghana, what is the process as a sales manager? What is the process? What do you require from that person in the shortest possible way?
Okay, at Dev Tracker Plus, the process we try to make it extremely seamless. So, first of all, you need a form of national identification, whether you're Ghanaian or not. We sell to people from all backgrounds and any kind of nationality. You just need to come up to us with your national ID. We accept your driver's license, your voters, your I mean, any national ID is fine, your passports, etc. And when you come in, you choose a unit or the units of choice. We look at your budget, we look at the ways we can help you structure a payment plan that would fit into your lifestyle and your plans for whatever you want to do with your life. And you're good to go. It's quite seamless, actually. You can have the purchase done within a day with your payments plan structured and everything.
Wow. So here you go. The process is not, it's not too big, it's not too much. We do make it very easy for you, as Rabbi has clearly just stated. So thank you for that, Rabbi. Just don't forget, as you are watching, just do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then also we're also on Instagram. Send in your questions, and I will do my best to answer them. If I'm not able to pick all the questions, what I will do is I will send you. I'll send you a private chat later. I'll do my best to go through them, but it's much easier if you send them through now. I do know that KK was in transit traveling, so I think he's dropped off a bit, so he might come back in later. But whilst I have Wendy and Rabbi in here, we will still continue. Thank you. Just let us know how these questions are helping you, and if I haven't answered any question that you have, please do let me know. I'll come to you, Wendy. I know that a few years back, the Ghana banking system went through a lot of trouble. And so because you work with Stanbic, one will say that, how do you reassure me that Stanbic will not fold up like what happened and for the banks to be all consolidated? Is it something that you can answer to give our investors that assurance?
Absolutely, AC. So I work for Stanbic Bank. That's a member of the Standard Bank Group with our head office in Johannesburg, South Africa. We are a typical African bank. So we pride ourselves as the biggest bank in Africa. We have International Commercial Bank of China being our largest shareholder. We are over 150 years in existence, so you can imagine. And we normally say that Africa is our home and we drive its growth. Stanbic is not going anywhere. Stanbic has come to stay. And in terms of that confidence, I mean, anybody can confirm our stance with the regulator, Bank of Ghana. We have met all our regulatory requirements, capital requirements, and I mean, we are not going anywhere. We are here to be in the Ghanaian market and to support Ghanaian businesses and individuals, being it you in your individual capacity and or in your business capacity. We are here to stay. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. So Stanbic is here to stay. She can only speak for Stanbic. I'm sure next time, if we have other banks here, they can also speak for themselves. But you've heard it. And of course, Stanbic is one of the main banks that we do work with in terms of the strategy managers. So yes, like I said, we bring you partners that have been tried and tested, and we know that your investment will not go down the drain. So thank you for that. I think at this point, I'm just going to give both Wendy and Rabbi, if there's any point that we have not picked up and you feel that you want to share with the audience from your experience. I think I'll come to you, Rabbi, first. If you can think of anything that you can, just share with us to reassure someone who is thinking of coming to buy in Ghana, that will be very helpful. So the floor is yours, Rabbi.
Okay, so all I can say right now is don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. If you are looking for the best passive income, where your money is working for you, it's safe, it's secured, it's brick and mortar, it will not walk away, it will not run away, nobody will steal it. What better investment can you look for rather than real estate? It's an investment that would appreciate. It is something that you would value for life. It's transgenerational. You would pass on to your children and your children's children. Don't think twice. Contact the strategy managers, contact Deftraco Plus, contact Stanbic Bank, contact We Are Your Resource People. We are here to help you make the purchase seamless. So please contact us now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. I know Rabbi just chipped in there. Contact Deftraco Plus. I know she is the real estate consultant for them. So yes, she is. She has to mention them. But remember, the strategy managers, we work with a whole lot of developers as well, of course, including DevTracker Plus. So yes, do contact us. She rightly said, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. I like that line, Rabbi. So Wendy, I'll come to you. What do you have to say in terms of someone that is thinking of coming to Ghana to invest? Is there anything that we've missed that you feel you should share?
Thank you very much, Issy. And this is something I always mention any platform I get the chance to speak about real estate, ownership, sales, everything. So I always say that before you make a decision to buy a house, to buy a property, either for investment or residential, the first step you have to do is to research. The second step is to research. The third and even the 100th step is to research. Thankfully, the strategy managers is there to help you with most of the research work that you need to do. So you as the individual, one thing you need to know is to understand yourself, understand your finances, know what you want, and leave the rest for the strategy managers. That is the rest of the research work that you need to do. So you have a regular income, you have a family, you know what you. I think one thing that most of us have really not sat down to do is on a monthly basis, what we commit our income to do, our expenditure on a line by line basis. So once we understand, we know how we earn, we understand our finances, we will know how much we're ready to commit towards a property, whether we are buying, whether we are selling, and whether we are buying directly or whether we are taking a mortgage too. Because if you're buying and you're taking an internal facility with Rabbi, there's an expectation of some money is going to them on an agreed period. If you have the money and you're buying, that is fine. But even that, you looking at how much I am coughing out to buy a property outright, won't it impact other areas of my life? So that is the bit of you understanding your finances. And once you understand your finances, you need to research into what I want to buy. I want to own a property in a prime area. What are the prime areas? This work the strategy managers can do for you easily. How much or who are the developers in these prime areas? The strategy managers is able to do this for you. How much am I able to negotiate? If I'm buying the property for investment, what are the investment potential in these localities, in these locations that I'm buying from? The strategy managers is able to help you with that. So all that I'm saying is that if you need to acquire a property, if you need to get into this real estate business, it's research, research, research. You will wake up researching, and you should wake up researching, because that is when you get the best results. I've heard a lot of people say, I decided to make a decision, but I never realized the opportunity because I got my hands bent somewhere along the line. Because one, you didn't understand yourself. Two, you didn't research. You didn't know what you were buying. You didn't know where to buy. You overemphasized a lot of things. But please seek the best advice. And obviously, myself, together with other developers like Irabna, with the strategy managers leading the way, I think you're in good hands, and you should be able to get yourself the best as you want. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. So you heard it. Understand your finances and know what you can invest, what your money can do for you. And the key word Wendy kept stressing on is research, 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 and reach out. And I'll also add that don't forget that whatever price you see, I know today I haven't gone so much into the price ranges in terms of the properties, and that's something that you can, because everybody is different, so you can contact us privately so that we can, in terms as part of your research and the areas, every price is negotiable, and that's the reason why you should contact the strategy managers, because we do have access to promotional deals that otherwise you will not get if you go directly to the developers, and we look out for you. So thank you so much, Wendy and Rabbi. I think I'll just be rounding off soon. I'll ask few questions. I'll just be checking if in the comment whether any question has come through. Okay, I do have a question here. Let me just pick that up. Sorry. Okay, so the question from Amber is: does the bank vet developers for their clients, and what makes a property qualify for mortgage? I believe that is for you, Wendy. So does the bank vet developers?
Thank you very much, Issy. So the answer is yes. Here in Stanbic, we have what we call the approved developer list. So for any developer that we are financing for, they go through a process. So you just cannot come in and say, I'm buying from just anybody. For most cases, I mean, and you agree with me, not all developers have come through a system. But so if a customer is bringing a developer who is not already vetted and approved on our developer list, we take them through that process. So for you buying a property, you have the comfort that the bank will vet and get to know that truly this person you're buying from, it's actually a reliable and has a lot of integrity. And again, the comfort is that because you are in the diaspora, we do a lot of legwork for you to confirm a lot of things, even to inspect those properties. One thing that most people say is, I remember AC, you asked this question: do I need to be physically in Ghana? You don't need to be. So for most of these things that you would ordinarily do with the developer, the bank steps in to do for you. And as a bank, we have an integrity, we have a corporate image to protect. So we are not just buying from anybody, or we are not just signing any developer on. In terms of the process the developers go through to be enlisted, it is very rigorous, and we can give you that comfort. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. So you heard that. Of course, we will not bring you any developer. So you cannot just wake up today and say that developer A, I'm buying from developer A, so give me mortgage. They are vetted. I do have a follow-on question from Kojo that says that, please, is the approved developer list published or available online? Wendy?
So the developer list is not published, but once you contact the bank, who avail you the developer list. There's no secret about it. You just access the developers that are on our list, and we'll give you a tall list for you to choose from. Trust me, there have been individuals and companies that have been on the list, and at some point we have blacklisted them. It's not automatic that you get on and you never go off. As time goes on, we also do our due diligence, and if we know that we are not meeting their criteria so required for you to be enlisted, we take you off. So every now and then we are re-evaluating these individuals or businesses on that approved list. Yeah.
Thank you for the questions coming in. So as Wendy has said, even with a list that they do have, they continually do their due diligence so that if they fall off the mark, they are taken off. And remember, like I said, if you come through the strategy managers, there is no developer that we would take straight to. I'm sure Stanbic as a team, as a whole, they will even say no to us before we even start the process, as soon as they hear the developers. So yes, we bring you reputable developers. I have another question that is coming through. Let me just read that just to be sure. Okay, I know this one we've mentioned, Wendy has mentioned it, so I believe it just came to, but I'll just ask you quickly, just in case they missed it. And then Wendy, you can just touch on in just 30 seconds. Hi, how can one be eligible for mortgage in Ghana if they are living in the diaspora and does not work in Ghana?
Thank you, Issy. So, as I mentioned earlier on, our diaspora facility is for persons living outside. So, in terms of requirements, it's just the same as anyone living in Ghana. The only thing is that the document that needs to be dispatched to us needs to be notarized by a notary public, and we'll do our vetting. So, you go through the same vetting as the individuals living in Ghana. In terms of employment, you send us your employment details, and we do our own confirmation and vetting on the side. As I mentioned earlier on, again, there's a bit of resourcing for your credit report. So once you do your credit report, we also have our own way of vetting it. So all you need to do, you don't need to be here. All the requirement that we ask you for, you get it for us, but you get them notarized before it's being dispatched to us. You don't need to post them straight away. For us to be able to start working on it, you can scan and email them to us. As we start working on it, then you forward that, you email that, you post the hard copies to us. Once your facility is equally approved, we issue you all the various letters, documentation via email. You print, you sign, you scan it back, and we will later dispatch the hard copies, and you do same and email them and post them back to us. So it's that simple, it's that seamless. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Wendy. I hope that answers your question. Yes, so I believe we've exhausted all the questions. I don't see anything else, but we just have a few minutes more to go. So if you have any coming in, please do send them in before we close this session. But thank you so much for the wealth of information that we've had today. Just in rounding off, maybe just something a little bit fun. I know it's been very tense when it comes to finances and everything else. So just for Wendy, just a few questions for Wendy and Rabi. I'm just going to ask, so I think I'll go to Rabi first. Rabi, are you there?
I'm here, please.
Yes. And the question that I have for you is, if you were to go back to school, and this is not anything related to what we are saying, just want to see another side of Rabi today so we can remember you. So if you were to go back to school, just remember your school days, what subject would you take out or would you not do? And why?
Oh, okay. I will definitely do math, but I'll take out the 1x plus 1y is equal to VW.
Algebra.
No. I'm not having that. No.
I think I share that with you. So Rabi is not an algebra person. No, she just wants the straight 1 plus 1 equals 2.
They should just remember to put a CD sign or dollar sign in front of the 1 plus 1, and I'll ace it.
Because you deal with money now. But no,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rabi. You've been an absolute star. Yes, and then Wendy, I'll come to you. So if you had a free ticket to any destination in the world, where will it be and why?
See, I love this question, and I am hoping that after I've answered this question, truly there'll be a ticket. So, I think the destination I would love to go to is Las Vegas, and I'll tell you why. So last year, I happened to have the opportunity to be in Las Vegas, and it's simple. You know the rule: what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and there's nothing like night in Vegas, and that is why I will go there again and again.
Wow. No, thank you so much to every one of you. You have been an absolute star. I know that KK dropped off. So for those of you who joined in last, you didn't get to listen to him. But yes, you can go back to the YouTube channel and then share and watch. So I've taken so much from this. I know Rabi said, don't wait to buy real estate, buy and then wait for the returns, I believe. Wendy has also mentioned that you just need to do your research and just work with the bank. Don't be afraid. People actually do get single digits in terms of interest rates if you take a mortgage. There's also the finance options, as well as Rabbi mentioned. If you have the money, there are payment plans that you can take up in terms of buying opportunity. There are different types of build. As we've mentioned, we have the apartments, we have the townhouses, we have also the ready to go, as in ready build, and also the off plan that gives you the chance to also make payments and to spread your risk across. So we have from 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 18 months, name it. Just contact the strategy managers. And yes, as part of your research, we will help you. So thank you so much for joining in. And just in finishing off, I know when we started, I was showing some of the slides, the slideshows of some of the properties that we have. I know I haven't shown every single one of them, but there we do. That's the Pelican, that's the hotel apartments, and I'm only showing this for those who joined in late. So we have it properties all over from East Legon, Ashelibutri. We have cantonments. We have all the areas that you can think of: Chado, Chimota, Adringano, in East Legon. So many properties. Don't be scared. Just make that decision today. And yes, we are happy to help you. So panelists, once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the information and the education that you have given us today. If you want to contact the strategy managers, you can send an email to the strategymanagers@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to serve you as well. If you want a contact number as well, it's 07908 633 837. Thank you so much for your attendance, and yes, waiting to receive all the calls coming in. Thank you. Bye.